Welcome to Ghetto Youth Bible Conversation with Garold Hamilton.
It's conversation, an idea that was emanated from my book, The Ghetto Youth Bible, which a lot of folks who are on the panel have read and gave me a lot of reviews and good reviews about it. The book is still available on Amazon and also on www.dtrfoundation.org. Good to have you on the show, Mr. Gooden. I wanted to help to share your story and to help you to inspire youths in Westmoreland and youths in Jamaica on a whole. But before I jump in to talk more, there was a little story that I read yesterday about a 13-year-old kid who swam from St. Lucia to Martinique. He did it in 13 hours, which is a feat in itself. And one of the takeaways is when his father said that he was a little bit worried because of the swell and big waves and the course. And he said, but when he looked at me, I felt he was fine. He didn't want to give up. It was out of the question. His father told the news reporter. And that's the impact that parents can have on kids. But not only that, when they said to the kid, he said the recent swim was not easy, and they asked him, how difficult. He said it was extremely hard. But I thought about the people, my friends who encouraged me. He said he was hungry at times, but he didn't want to give up. He was doing it for a great cause. And the reason why I talk about this is that, say as a father and as a proud, Black man, I continue to worry about racial equality, especially in the US where I live. At times I'm inspired by our kids' resolve to be better than our older generation. This story gives me hope and illustrates the commitment that we need from our kids. We will never give up. The stakes are too high. This 12-year-old created history. For 13 hours he swam. That's a great feat in itself. But the reason why he did it was even more heartwarming. He did it for raising awareness for breast cancer, for which his mom is currently struggling with. Young Black men, find your reason to be courageous. And I want, as parents, we push them to be both women and men and young men. Find your reason never to give up. Find your reason to swim against the current. Find your reason to challenge the wave. If we don't, we're not only going to be drowned in this world of racial injustice and inequality, you're going to be eaten by the sharks who are here to destroy the human race. We have to continue to inspire younger generation. They are the answer to tomorrow's challenge. We have to push them to be resilient, to be courageous, to be different, and to be great. And that's what Ghetto Youth Conversation is about. And thank you, Mr. Gooden, for giving me the opportunity to interview you on today's show. I thank all the attendees who I have on both Zoom and also on Facebook Live. I'm going to jump straight in, Mr. Gooden, and just talk about you growing up, your background.
Yes.
So you grew up in Beeson Spring, man, in the hills of Westmoreland. A countryman. So tell me about that. Tell me about growing up in that part of the country.
Well, first let me say to you, Mr. Hamilton, thanks for having me. It's really a pleasure to be sharing on this platform, and I hope that this will be great encouragement for the younger generation. So I'm going to encourage all the adults that are here. If your kid is close, if you have children, get them to see this. If they can't see it now, but have them see it at another time. Yes, so Beeston Spring it was.
Yes.
In the cool hills of Westmoreland. That's a community beyond White House. Going north from White House, that's where you'll find Beeston Spring.
Yes.
The community got the name because there's actually a spring that once belonged to Mr. Beeston.
Oh, wow.
Right. Yeah. Growing up in that community, it was great. Our childhood was great. I mean, growing up for us, it was a community thing.
Yes.
You know, we knew we were actually reared by all the adults in the community, man.
Yes.
You know, so to and from school, there would be homes that would stop to get refreshment, whether it's a glass of water, to get mangoes. You know, there are some homes that would collect mangoes for the kids coming home from school. So you just stop and you get mangoes, you know, and whatever it is, they have apples and all that, you know. So it was really cool, you know, growing up at that time.
But you funny you say stop and get mangoes. I remember when I used to go to South Primary, and Mr. Foot that live across the road from South Primary.
Yeah.
He never wanted to give up any of his mangoes. So we had to jump his fence at time to just grab his mangoes and run when he was coming. So
yeah.
I think Decent Spring was very different from Savlamar. So you know, so it's a testament to growing up in the country, and it's always you know, fun. But you know, I'm glad you mentioned community and how you know, and the impact that they have on you and on your life. And I think that's something that's missing in today's community in Jamaica, and that's something that we have to try to bring back in some sense, you know, so that we can recreate some of those you know, some of those situations in the community that we help to grow our kids and give them a good environment of encouragement, you know, to live in and to grow up in. So you said, you know, I know you diverted a little bit and went to Grangeville for a little while, you know, for maybe about 4 years doing high school. How was Grangeville, you know, as a community compared to Beeston Spring?
Well, for me, Grangeville was more like a little town.
Yes.
It was I mean, most of the people in Grangeville, a lot of them really, because you had sugar cane.
Yes.
So the Froome sugar factory actually had, you know, a whole lot of cane planted in that area. So that was a big thing there. You know, there was a whole lot of cane cutters and all that. And, you know, Grangeville in itself was, in comparison to Beeston Spring, the homes were closer together.
Yes.
Because, I mean,
more urban setting. It was more of an urban, you know, town type of setting. Yes.
Where I grew up, it was really country setting. Like my neighbor was like probably more than 100 kilometers from my house.
Wow. Wow.
No,
wow.
sorry, 100 meters, more than 100 meters.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
So,
more than 100 meters.
So in how is these, you know, how were these communities growing up in terms of safety, in terms of crime? You know, how was it? I know, you know, in today's, you know, environment is very different, you know, especially Grangeville, in which we hear a lot of stuff on the news in terms of what's going on, the violence, the gangs and everything. But how are those communities when you were growing up?
Well, we have the best days, you know, and at times when I think about it, I have a burden for the younger generation that's growing up now. Because I wonder, you know, I wonder about their childhood. You know, what are they experiencing? They don't have the freedom that we used to have.
Yes.
You know, in Grangeville, I remember, you know, on weekends and summers when it wasn't school, I would walk or jump on a bicycle, go check my friend Paul, go down the road, and we would hit the streets.
Yes.
And when we say we hit the streets, man, we're going home like late. We're going home like 11, 12. I mean, if it's a holiday, we'll be on the streets until in the AM.
Yes.
You know, and it was safe.
Yes.
It was quite safe. Grangeville was different. You know, when I hear some of the stories, I mean, nowadays, it pains my heart, you know?
Yes.
To know that you couldn't really go back and, you know, walk the places you used to walk, do the things you used to do and feel safe.
So how was the transition? Why did you move to Grangeville? And were you living with your parents at the same, or how did that transition came about?
Right. So after passing the common entrance, you know, getting a spot at Manning's High School, Manning School, right? So my mom decided that it would be easier for me to travel from Grange Hill.
Yes.
Because getting transportation from Grange Hill would be much easier than getting transportation from Beeston Spring.
Yes.
So my mom's side of the family, a couple of them live in Grange Hill.
Okay.
So I went to stay with an uncle. You know, his children had migrated to New York. So he was there, and you know, I went to live with my uncle. My aunt lived close by. I had a lot of cousins and all that, you know. So I had more family members around me, closer than when I was in Beeston Spring.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, it was different. But there's a whole lot of people that, you know, were cheering for you. You know, there's a whole lot of people that were cheering for you. I mean, you know, both communities actually helped to mold me, you know, and I wouldn't trade any of them, you know, I wouldn't trade any of them.
So how are, you know, you're talking about the communities and the people of the community. What type of effect, you know, did they have on you? Were they mentors? Were they teachers? Did they try to, you know, keep you on the right path? What type of relationship did you have with most of those community folks?
Yeah, see, my parents, especially my mom, she made sure,
yes,
you know, that when she took me to Grange Hill,
yes,
you know, she found people and let them know that, listen, my son is going to be here for school.
yes.
So we want you to look out for him, you know, and make sure that he's walking the straight path, you know, make sure he's doing whatsoever he's supposed to be doing, you know. And I knew that I had to, you know, respect my elders,
yes,
you know, and made sure that there's no negative report going to my mom at the end of the month when she, you know, come by. So I had to be on that straight path. And so, you know, these people, they took her instructions seriously.
Yes.
You know, they literally made sure that, you know, I was doing what I was supposed to do.
Yes.
You know, made sure that I was studying, going to school, and wasn't idling.
Yeah, so it's funny, you know, that's how we grew up as well. You know, you're going to be scolded by you know, by people in the community if you fall out of line, and your parents will give you a second round when you get home. So this is I suspect those are some of the recommendation and messages that your mom delivered to those folks back then. You know, it's not the same now, but you know, but it's you know, I could understand, you know, the conversation that she had. You were saying that your parents were Christians, strict, you know, Seventh-day Adventists, as you were saying.
Yeah.
How did this help to shape you as a person in terms of values, you know, growing up?
Right. So from an early age, we knew what was expected of us, you know. Yes. We knew what was expected of us. And we were taught, you know, the Christian path.
Yes.
You know, we knew that we should, you know, respect our elders. We know that we should pray.
Yes.
You know, and we should do the right.
Yes.
You know, so those are things that were instilled in us from an early age. Yes. So, you know, you grow to know that whatever you do will affect somebody else.
Yes.
And you always make sure that whatever you do will, you know, have a positive impact on the other person.
Absolutely.
Because growing up, you know, as a Christian, you know, you're being looked upon.
Yes.
You know, you're being looked upon, and you have to live that kind of lifestyle that, you know, people expect. You know, because there are expectancies.
Yes, and that's a value system, and I think having those, and we're going to talk later more about it, because those type of value system, it lives with you, you know, forever, and help to shape you and shape the type of person you are and the type of businessman you are. And that's something that I know well of you in terms of how you are. You know, your word is your bond, and that's something that I think always come from that Christian background, and that creating that moral fiber in you growing up. And I think that's something that we have to endeavor to pass on to our kids as well, to teach them the importance of really having a moral compass, when they act, when they behave, when they're at home and abroad. So that's something that I think that is extremely important. So tell me about your dad. What type of work did your dad do? And how did he impact your life on a whole?
Right. So my dad, in my early years, I remember my dad used to be away from home sometimes.
Yes.
He used to travel to the US for farm work. And I could remember those days when he would come home and, with all the goodies. And
was any American apple in his bag when he came?
I don't remember that. I remember we used to get nice sneakers, and my brother and I would be able to dress alike, like twins, So I remember all of that. But I don't remember if there used to be American apples.
Oh boy, but I'm sure there was Irish Spring soap. That's
if they had Irish Spring back then. Yes, so that I remember that vividly. Yes. But then after he had an accident in the US and he didn't travel, after that.
Yes.
He then got a job with the Jamaica Agricultural Society, yes, right, which is now known as RADA.
RADA, that's right.
As an extension officer, field officer, right? So, I mean, that's what he did. I think he was made redundant the year before I started mine. So about 87, somewhere there, he was made redundant, right? So he resorted to farming, which he knew, after that, and that's what he did.
So
but he actually, it was a lot of values that he instilled, and I can remember, every day, this lives with me. He said, there are things that you will see.
Yes.
That you must turn a blind eye to. There are things that you will hear that you should never repeat.
Yes.
And he says, it's important to know when to talk. It's not every time you're supposed to talk. It's not everything that you're supposed to say.
Yes.
And that stays with me.
And he said something about friends also.
Yeah, he said that you should always have friends.
Yes.
There must be friends that will cheer for you.
Yes.
There must be friends that will help you up in life. There must be friends that will walk the path with you. Whatever you're doing, there must be friends to support you. So, he was saying that, having friends is not just people who are actually on the same rung of the ladder that you're on.
Yes.
But you need to have friends from various backgrounds.
Yes.
Because there is somebody at every stage in life that will impact you positively.
Yes. And that's something that, and I'm glad you were able to really describe that, because, your parents taught you values, and that came from the Christian background, and taught you about relationship also, which those are the teaching and message that help to mold you and pull you through in your life, because that's extremely important. Is know the type of friends that you call your friends. And those, that's extremely important. I'm going to divert a little back to your mom in terms of entrepreneur. So we talk about how did that whole entrepreneur spirit came about. And you told me, like, my mom, she was a serial entrepreneur. That's what I call her, because she did everything. So how was it, for your mom?
Yes, man. My mom, she did everything, Garold. At one point, she was operating a basic school, an infant school.
Yes.
She was big on education. So she wanted the kids in the community to get that, first stage education. At one point, she was operating a school. I remember my mom, she used to sell clothes. I remember my mom, she used to sell farm produce. She used to sell craft. she did everything, you know. So from early, I saw her doing her thing, you know, and she
Yes.
always said to me, man, whatever you do, just do your best, you know.
Yes.
Always do your best. Strive to, you know, strive to make sure that whatever you do, you reach the top in that. And that live on with me. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, you know, I'm gonna put my all in it. I won't
Yes.
allow anybody to outwork me, man.
Yes, yes,
No.
that's a spirit. I think I mentioned about always giving 150%, and those
Yeah.
shall overdo it. And
Yeah.
those are, you know, those are really a mindset that can push you to success. And I see it in you. I see how you are in terms of, you know, how you work. I see how much you push, and that's extremely important, as as you were saying, that, you know, you learn that from your mom. So
Yeah.
one of the things that we don't know as parents is that, you know, our children are watching us. You know,
Yeah.
they look at us in terms of what we do, how we approach stuff. Sometimes it seem like they're not listening, and you have to work a little hard. But I think
Yeah.
you just have to just remember, keep going, and just keep doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the only hope is that they're going to look back, you know, at times, and they're going to try to emulate some of your tendencies. So, you know, that's very important for us to keep plugging away, and never, you know, give up on showing them the right way. It's not only about teaching them, but also action speak louder than words with respect
Yeah.
to how they you know, the visual aspect of it, and the, you know, that's extremely important. So common entrance exam. So tell me a little bit about, you know, I remember that was one of the most important part. That was the most, in terms of moment for me. I'm still remembering the day I passed common entrance up till now, because that's something that, you know, that stood out. So how was that? And was it the first chance that you passed? How did that go?
Yeah. Actually, it was the first chance. I was 10 at the time, you know, very young. Started mornings at 10.
Oh,
So I remember, you know, it was a big thing back then. It was a big thing. You
yes,
know, when the common entrance result is out, and, you know, a child passed from the community,
yes,
he immediately becomes the prince of the community.
yes.
Yeah, hands down,
True,
you know. Yeah,
true,
so I
true, true.
remember it was the morning I was leaving home. I think I was going to the shop, and there's a gentleman in my community. He had mental issues,
Yes,
but he read a lot.
yes.
So he'd always read the papers and all that. So, you know, he was the first he was the first to tell me
Yes.
that I was successful in my common entrance, man, and to
And
congratulate me.
so he wasn't that mental then. He
No,
was
I mean, he had mental issues, but
mental issues, yeah, but
yeah, but he,
yeah,
and, you know, then going all the way, you know, to the shop and coming back, and people was
yes,
congratulating me, you know, it felt
yeah.
good.
I can imagine the feeling. You know, when I went
Yeah,
through that. It was great at that time. So you passed and you went to Manning's. You
yeah,
know, you're a blue blood. You know, like many of us on the call, and others.
yeah,
An institution that's close to my heart in terms of what it allowed me to do, and the tools that I was able to to get from that institution that I still use today. So how was Manning School? You know, tell me about it. Were you a student? Was top of his class? And you know what went on there at Manning's?
oh dear, Manning School. Girl, I was actually a C student, bro. Yeah, I was a C student. I didn't know anything about A's until I got to college.
Well,
Funny enough, I didn't know anything about A's until I got to college. I was a C student, but I work hard, you know.
yes,
I work hard enough to get my CXCs. I worked hard enough to get my common entrance. I worked hard enough to get my CXCs so I
yes,
could go on to college. But I realized after going to college that the reason why I didn't get better grades is I didn't know how to study.
nobody taught you. That's the thing. Nobody
No,
taught you. Yes,
nobody taught me how to study. You
yes,
know, I went to college, and in my first year, I did a 1-credit course. I think it was called freshman composition, or yeah. But in that 1-credit course, there was there was a booklet that you got.
Yes.
That actually taught you how to study.
Yes.
You know.
So it's funny that the lesson that you're that you're sharing is that you were a C student, which a lot of people would look down on their kids for now, and push their kids, but you still persevered. You still didn't use that as an impediment. You still was a hard worker, and because you didn't understand how to study. Right. And it wasn't not until you went to college that came through with, that you were getting A's. But that's something that that we have to use as a lesson, in the sense that you can't give up, and it doesn't matter where you start. So that C will turn to A if you work hard. So that's something that I have to give kudos to you about that. But how are your teachers at Manning's in terms of how were they able to influence you? Were they a big supporter? Were you a teacher's pet? What can you describe your relationship with some of your teachers at Manning's?
I think everybody who goes to Manning's, they can say they have teachers that used to cheer them on. There are teachers that nurture you, know, and give you the encouragement you need. Yes. But overall, we had great teachers, and there are some that stands out. There are some that stands out, man, that really, aided in me, getting what I needed to get, to move on.
Yes.
So, I want to say, I really respect those people.
Absolutely. I remember
Manning School did it for me, man.
I remember you were telling me about there was a subject that you wanted to take, and one teacher decided that they weren't going to sign you up. And you went to another teacher and they did.
Yeah, my accounts teacher didn't want to sign me up for accounts. But yeah. Hats off to Mrs. Lacan, my favorite teacher. She got me signed up for accounts. And the funny thing about it is that the teacher that didn't want to sign me up for accounts, because he thought that it was gonna be a waste. And the thing is, Garold, at fifth form,
yes,
I knew I had to work hard.
Yes.
Harder than everybody else.
Yes.
In order to get those grades.
Yes.
And he was a new teacher.
Yes.
He had an accent and I couldn't understand him.
Okay.
So when he comes to class, I would actually excuse myself from class. And go to study on my own.
Okay.
Because I couldn't understand the gentleman.
So you took a different approach, but you still passed, and you told me.
I needed to.
Yeah.
And he probably saw it as disrespectful.
Yes.
But I was just doing what I needed to do, man.
Okay. Yeah. So what we're gonna do?
But the thing is, he became one of my greatest supporters, man. I passed that subject, and that man, every time he sees me,
Yeah.
So he showed me that he was,
But maybe he wanted to challenge you also. Maybe that's what it is. He wanted to challenge you.
It's possible. It works.
So some of those stories are a lesson in itself. So and you try them. He said you couldn't. You want to prove to him that you did. And that's kudos to you that you persevered. Yeah. You left and went to Northern Caribbean University, NCU.
Yes. It was West Indies College at the time.
At the time. How did you, why West Indies College? Why not UTech or Cass at the time? And why not UWI? What was the decision? How did that came about?
Well, my mom decided that West Indies College would be the best place for me.
Yes.
It was a bias, religious bias.
You're Adventist, man. That's so
good. Yeah. And separate and apart from that, I could go into college on a work-study program.
Yes.
You know, so I went to college, I started college, and I was able to have a job on campus.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was actually one of the factors that led to me going to West Indies College. Right? They offered business, and I wanted to do business. So, you know,
Which is
that
the
was it.
foundation of what we're going to talk about, the company that you own
Yeah.
and run. So how was NCU? How many years did you go there?
I was there for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. I was there for 2 years, you know, pursuing business administration major and minor in accounting.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know, it was great. I had great friends. I had friends that challenged me in classes, you know, like, you know, I remember friends that we, you know, we had to get A's.
Yes.
And the only difference that was that I probably had 1 point higher than him for this
Yes.
test. And for the next test, he probably have a point higher than me. You know,
Yes.
but it was great. We had great time. I lived on campus with, you know, 3 other roommates.
Yes.
You know, real fun times.
Yeah. So, you know, the message for me in what you say in terms of you have friends, but it was friendly competition that you challenge each other. And that's something that I think as individuals and as Black people, that's something that we have to learn, that not because, you know, we're competing, that means we're enemies.
Right.
You know, that's something that we have to, and not because you get an A, that doesn't mean it minimizes the grade that I get. You
Exactly.
know, so it's, you know, so that's the lesson, you know, for me. You know, from that. So
and we need to cheer for each other.
Exactly. We have to be each other's cheerleaders, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things I want to ask you, so what happened? You decided to drop out of school? What exactly was the decision making process? You know, how did your parents feel about it? Like, how did that happen? Like, what happened?
Well, no, it wasn't a choice really.
Yeah.
I took a summer job.
Yes.
I remember I was in college, and I called a gentleman I knew, you know, who was in business. And I said to him, you know, I'm in college, I'm looking for a summer job. And he said, yes, you know, I'm starting out, and you just help us out. And then when it was time to go back to school, he said,
I'm having a little problem with your feed, Enock.
I really
No, I'm having a little problem with your feed, you know.
You're having a feed?
Yeah, a little problem with your feed. What I'm going to do, because I had planned to take a little break. So I'm going to take a little break and work out that little glitch and go to...
Let's take a break and come back. Let me check.
Yes. I'll do that. I'm going to start this... 1 second. I'll try to get something going here. So sorry about that. I'm going to be trying to share my screen.
Yeah, I think the feed is better now, though.
Yeah.
Catch Up Season 5 is getting ready to begin as we enter our 3rd year.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 5 of Catch Up.
The intention and the objective is to co-create a safe space to share our stories. What's your story? Own your story. Share your story.
This piece right here, this is our Lion of Judah cup.
We reminisce, learn, inspire, and empower each other to live our best life now. By sharing our stories, we help both ourselves and the younger generation to navigate careers, relationships, and our dreams. If you would like to advertise your products or services by sponsoring one or more of our episodes in our upcoming 5th season, contact Nakia Salmon by sending an email to mystory@nakiasalmon.com to get more details.
So catch up. Yep, I'll be coming on catch up as well. I just want to have one more commercial break. Let's make sure that we share our screen. Make sure that.
No.
The ocean is calling. The ocean is calling. Answer it, whether it's for a staycation, vacation, or simply a getaway. Book your stay in this ocean and pool view 2-bedroom condo located in the very sought-after and gated Columbus Heights in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Condo is air-conditioned, has hot water heater, cable, free Wi-Fi, stainless steel appliances, on-site gym access, and 24-hour security guarded entry. Location, location, location. It is within walking distance of several attractions such as Dunn's River Falls, Dolphin Cove, Mystic Mountain, in-bond shopping, restaurants, and nightlife. Book your stay today via Airbnb or call Garold 202-607-9294 or Candice 770-880-8820 or Michelle 876-399-3698. We see you soon.
So we thank you. We just have to share some catch-up information from our Blue Bloods, and also have a condo that we do Airbnb in Ocho Rios that we want to share. A business venture between me and my wife. So that's something that we wanted to share. But we're going to jump right back in, Enock, and we're going to talk about dropping out of NCU, and you were talking about what happened. You dropped out. Like you said, you took a holiday job, and what happened?
Yeah, I took a holiday job, man, and when I was supposed to go back to school for the September semester,
yes,
the gentleman said that he needed me to help because he had a young business.
Yes,
he needed me to help, so he was giving me a deal. I should remain with him for that semester.
Yes.
So I should sit out that semester and go back to school in January. And his end of the bargain is that, he would cover my tuition and all that.
Wow, that's
right.
Good.
Right. So, I saw that as a great opportunity and I grabbed onto it.
Yes.
However, after I finished,
yes,
and I went to speak to him about, the agreement, he did not.
He reneged on it.
He did not honor his side of the bargain.
Oh man. Yeah. So you didn't have anything in writing to
No.
Oh no. Man. So you had to give up a whole semester because he made a promise and
yeah,
he didn't come
that
true.
He never fulfilled on.
So what happened? What did you do after that? What?
So after that, I decided, all right, let me try to get a job.
Yes.
To try to get a job and figure something out. Because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that semester. So I said, let me get a job, figure something out for probably the next year.
So you became, I know, as I said, I like profession like, the fire service teachers, nurses, because, these are position of extreme importance for our society. Mm-hmm. I can't understate the importance of safety, education, and health in our population, so that's something that, that you became a fireman. How was that? Like, did you decide that, okay, I'm going to be a fireman? Was that the next step in terms of, okay, this guy didn't honor his commitment, so I'm going to apply for the fire service? How did that come about?
No, actually, I had another job before I went to the fire service. Yeah.
Where you used to work?
I worked at Pacman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Van Horn.
Yeah, Miss Van Horn. Yeah,
it's funny how our story, and when we were talking, cross path, because Miss Van Horn is a sister of my Auntie Merle, which is not my real auntie, but she took me in, when my mom migrated, and I lived at her house. And you were telling me that Miss Van Horn, you lived at Miss Van Horn house during that time?
No, no, I didn't live at Miss Van Horn
Okay.
house, but I worked with her,
Yes.
you know, and somebody I respected, you know, a very
Yes.
sweet lady. You know,
Yes.
she treated me with respect and treated me as, you know, as a son and all of
Yes.
that. So, you know, I was there for a while with
Yes.
her. I worked as a supervisor, you know, there, you know, Pacman, KY and Associates, you know, gained some business knowledge while I was there as well.
Yes,
You know,
that's so how did the fireman came about now? So to talk to me about that.
You know, after I was actually searching for a job.
Yes.
So this Sunday, I was home and I said, you know, I need to get a gleaner because I need to look for a job. And I got the gleaner.
Yes.
I think, and I was going through the gleaner and I saw the advertisement for the fire service.
Yes.
You know, they were going to be doing recruitment at the church hall right across from Manning's.
Yes.
Right. And I said, boy, you know, I need to try this.
Yes.
So I said, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. So I got dressed. I read the requirements. I knew I was supposed to take passport size picture, job application letter, recommendation letter, and all of that. I knew I was supposed to take those.
Did you have all of that then?
I didn't have all of that. No, because I saw that the Sunday evening and the recruitment was the Monday.
But you still went?
I still went. I still went. Right? I still went. And I got to do the interview. And after I did the interview, I knew I was in. You know, I spoke to the persons there, you know, authority. I let them know that, look, I came to the interview. I don't have the required photograph and, you know, but I have a job application.
Yes.
And I don't have my recommendations, you know, but I have my passes.
Yes.
You know, including a transcript from West Indies College.
Okay.
So I took that and I did an entrance test.
Yes.
You know, so did the entrance test, gave them the application letter, showed them my credentials, and, you know, they were impressed. So I actually said, okay, they were actually going to do another test the Tuesday.
Yes.
So I said, I will take these in tomorrow. So as soon as I left there, I went to Manning's.
Yes.
And I found the teachers that I knew and who I could get recommendations from.
Yes.
And I got recommendations. I went to a JP. I got, you know, the pictures signed and all that. And Tuesday morning, I went back with what I needed.
So it was merely by luck that you saw it in the gleaner, and just happened that you weren't prepared because you didn't have the right requirements.
Right.
But you still went ahead anyway. So
yeah,
that's,
I was determined.
That's the mindset. Yeah. That's the mindset. So you became a fireman. I became a fireman. So how was that? Like, what were you doing? Were you just out in fires when required? Or what was your duties? What did you do?
Yeah, actually, I got to love the job. I didn't know. I mean, prior to that, I didn't think of the fire service.
Yes.
You know, but I got to love the job, and I think I did 2 years straight in the fire service, and then I branched out into emergency medicine. So what happened is that the fire brigade operates the EMS service.
Yes.
And we were at the station, myself and my friend was Philip Crichton. He died, you know, but we became friends at training school.
Yes.
And we were at the station, and the training is done by UE, you know.
Yes.
And they came down, the instructors came for a refresher course. And without any experience, you know, Philip and myself decided that we're going to do the test. So we asked them to allow us to sit the exam.
Yes.
Although we're not EMTs, we wanted to sit the refresher exam. And we sat the exam, and, you know, we passed. I mean, we had better grades than some of the guys who were actually you know, practicing as EMTs.
Wow.
And Dr. Sigri at the time, she was in charge of, you know, that section at UE, you know, and she was impressed.
Wow.
And she said, you know, gentlemen, the next training, I want to see you guys.
So it wasn't a intentional thing. It was just a.
It wasn't an intentional thing. No.
So I'm gonna fast forward to. So you decide to leave the fire service. What happened? Like you know, what was the next step? Like.
Right. So I mean, after the training and all that, I was working in Negril.
Yes.
As an EMT, and you know, Garold, I tell you, you know, whatever happens in my life that bring me to this point is
Yes.
the principle that, you know, my mom taught me. You know, whatever you do,
Yes.
just do your best.
Absolutely.
You know? So
Absolutely.
I was an EMT, and you know, everybody knew me.
Yes.
You know, for how I handled myself and for, you know, the care
Yes.
I give to my patients. So the doctors in the grill at the time who used to call on us, you know,
yeah,
they knew that, you know, when they see me, you know,
yes.
things will be under control, you know.
Good.
You
Yeah.
know, Dr. Rudansky, he always tell even some of my employees, he see them sometime, he still, you know, remember an incident at Grand Leader was, you know, somebody died.
Yes.
And, you know, the family member died. I think it was the dad.
Yes.
And he called us, you know, he was there and it was chaotic.
Yes.
And he said when the ambulance came and I stepped out, a calm came over him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a testament
and
to
I just took control of the situation, man.
Steady hands,
you know?
steady hands.
So those are the little things that, you know, as long as you're doing what you're doing and you're doing your best, people will see that, you know, and then people will cheer for you. So
absolutely.
So what happened is that then, remember they used to have spring break.
Yes.
Right. So the spring break parties, I realized that, you know, after going to a few of them, that and working in the grill, the ambulance used to get calls for every little thing.
Yes.
You know, a scratch on the finger, you know, bottle break, cut somebody on the feet in the sun, they're going to call us out. So as EMTs, we had sleepless nights because of those minor injuries.
Yes.
So I decided that, you know, I was going to set up a medical post. So I got some things, a jump bag, oxygen, portable oxygen, and whatever I would need for a good first aid emergency kit, you know.
Yes.
And I had a tent,
yes.
pretty much like the ones you see, you know, at Dream Weekend.
Yes.
So we had a tent, we had no ambulance. You know, my car would serve as, you know, the thing that would transport.
So you were setting up your own little business.
Right.
That.
So I offer this service to all the promoters of the events on the strip.
Wow.
You know, and the first to take it was Margaritaville and Risky Business.
Yes.
And people came, they saw us working, and then they just say, you know, they need us at their party. Wow. So now it was Philip and myself, and then I had to get, you know, other EMTs from the fire brigade to work with us, you know, and that's where it started.
So that's where you, that's how.
Dr. Rudansky, he called me up and he said, Enock, you know, this is good, but I think we need an ambulance in the girl. Because at that time, what happened is that the public ambulance, it doesn't go out of parish.
Yes.
And most of the tourists at that time would be going to Mobe Hope, that is in, you know, Montego Bay.
Yes.
And a private ambulance would have to come from Montego Bay for that patient to go back to Mobe. So that's a lot of time lost.
That's right.
You know, so he said, boy, I think you should, you know, start an ambulance service.
Wow. So you saw the opportunity.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
You know, I saw the opportunity there.
How did you afford an ambulance?
All right. So what happened is, Philip, I would always talk about Philip. Philip Crichton, that's my buddy, man.
Yes.
You know, he died. But he was always there with me.
Yes.
Whatever I was doing, you know, he was there with me. Whatever he was doing, I was there with him. And I said to him, Philip, you know, this is the idea. let's work on it. So we got the equipment and all that, and I started looking around for a vehicle to buy that we could retrofit for an ambulance. And I saw a guy advertising, it was a Ford Aerostar in Spanish Town, Angels. And I think it was $74,000 at the time. So, you know, we put the money together, we went up, got the vehicle, and boy, that journey down.
Was it a straight journey? Did you break?
It was leaking transmission fluid. The braking system wasn't good. but we took it home. We took it to Sam, you know, and we had it for probably 2 months. You know, working on it. Retrofitting it. And we started with that. You know, and we did a couple of calls. We had it for probably 2 years. And it gave a lot of mechanical problems.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah, like you make some money, you spend it back. But we kept going because little did we know that, you know, although it wasn't that profitable at the time, we were still building a name, you know. So we were building a name.
And a reputation also.
And a reputation, man. So we didn't have the best unit. But we had the best service.
Absolutely. So
because the service that we gave, man, you know, I remember people from Canada, and they were saying, boy, you know, the service that we're giving them is absolutely, you know, great.
I'm hearing Marsha saying that, you know, rest in peace, Philip. I believe he was the one that saved her aunt's life because he was at the right place at the right time. So, you know, you know, I get, you know, a true testament of a friend.
A blessed soul, man. A blessed soul.
So how did you evolve now? So how did you decide that, okay, life call? How did life call came about?
After Philip died, the company, you know, went silent for about a year. And Dr. Rudamski, he called me up one day and said, you know, we really need the ambulance, you know, back in Miguel. So I told him what was happening. You know, this unit that I have is too old. It can't go anymore. And I'm trying to save some money and, you know, probably get a loan to get a newer vehicle. And he said, what if we could probably go, you know, in partnership? I know you have the equipment and all of that. We could probably buy the unit, and he's saying that he could probably put the money up for the unit. And we could go in partnership. And I said, yeah, I would work with that. So he said, all right, you know what? Let me talk to another doctor that needs the service as well. So it was Dr. Foster. So both of them came together and put the cash up for the next vehicle, which was a Nissan Caravan. So went to Kingston, got it, came down, retrofitted, and we started live call. So it was three of us at that time, you know, after Philip. So it was myself, Dr. Rudamski, Dr. Foster that started that company. And after 2 years, Dr. Rudamski was going back to Canada. So he wanted to sell me his share. Which, you know, which I bought. And Dr. Foster, he wanted to start something else after a time. So I actually get a loan, paid him up for his shares as well. And just continued to grow the company, you know, made it into a family business. And it just blossomed. Like, you know, I will always say it, man. You know, when you do your best, it leaves impression with people. So it's the impression that, you know, was left with Dr. Rudamski that actually started Life Call, you know. And when we started Life Call, I remember getting a call from the Jet Center in Montego Bay. Because they had an air ambulance coming in to go to Black River. And they needed a unit for that. And the private ambulance that was in Mobe at the time had some engagements and couldn't do the call. And we did that call. We left Westmoreland, came to Mobe, pick up the crew from the air ambulance, took them to Black River, load the patient, took them back to the airplane. And the gentleman who actually, the manager for the jet center.
Yes.
Yeah, he was impressed.
Yes.
And he said, man, we want you to come to Montego Bay.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Barry Foster. You know, everybody know him as
Yes.
Uncle Barry. You know, and he's a person that up to this day, you know, he cheers for me.
Yes.
You know, so that was in the back of my head, you know, to go to Montego Bay. You know, because
so that's how you went to Montego Bay. I was wondering how, now you have your head office in Montego Bay now. You started in the Grill, head office in Montego Bay.
Yeah.
And, you know, you came from one, you know, ambulance that had ignition, you know, all sort of problems, transmission problems. And how many ambulances do you have now?
Right. So before I go there, just
all right, go ahead.
Let me take a minute. So yeah, so I had the idea to go to Montego Bay. Aldred Anderson, who has been with Life Call from 2010.
Yes.
Yeah, he used to work with another company in Montego Bay. He got redundant, and he said, Enoch, I think I would love to work with you, and I would love for you to go to Montego Bay. And I said, all right, let's try to do that, you know. And I had one unit, so we wouldn't move that to Montego Bay.
Yes.
So we got another one. We got another one, and we moved that unit to Montego Bay. Jason Kennedy and Ashley McKellar, these guys, and I still have to, you know, give thanks to Mr. David, who actually used to run the beach at that time, Cornwall Beach.
Yes.
David Chung.
Yes.
You know, he gave us an office space right on the beach, you know, and that's where we came, and we were there with them until we moved out of there. And yeah, you know, then I think we cover an expo.
Yes.
At the Montego Bay Convention Center one year. And as I say again, man, whatever you do, just do your best.
Man.
You know, we were there and something happened. I think somebody fainted.
Yes.
And a representative from Hospital,
yes,
you know, saw the team in action. And they were impressed. You know, so I started, you know, a conversation with her, Nicola. And I was saying, well, you know, we would really like to work for Hospital.
Yes.
You know, and she said that, well, you know, she put in a word for us.
Yes.
You know, also my good friend Dennis Samuels, who operates Cornwall Medical Supplies. You know, I went to him and I said, Dennis, I know you supply Hospital. I just need a meeting with those guys.
Yes.
And he said, Enoch, I'm going to set it up. And he called them and he set up the meeting. And I walked in and I spoke to them. And they say, you know, we have a contract with this company. But what we can do is that we can use you for second calls.
Yes.
So they were using me for second calls, Garold.
And the second call became first call.
Became first call.
Yeah.
They said to me, look, Enoch, we need we are working with the hotels, mostly largely the Spanish trains. And this is our projection for the next 5 years. We're going to need at least 5 ambulances and to cover from Ocho Rios going down to Negril, you know, providing service for all the Spanish hotels. And our current supplier, you know, they're not offering. We're asking them for it, but, you know, they don't want to move from their big contracts, you know, and to come for this because they don't know it's going to work out. So I say, okay, I'll take it. I didn't know where the additional ambulances were going to come from.
Yes.
But I was determined to make it happen, man.
What a guy, man.
You know?
Wow.
So I tell them, look, okay, all right. I add another unit in 6 months.
Yes.
And then a year from now, I'll try to add another one. We'll grow, we'll work. And that's what I did, you know? That's what happened, man. That's
so
what happened.
How many ambulance do you have now at Life Call?
At Life Call, I think we have 10 units. Yeah, we have 10 units and a medical van, so it's 11.
Wow.
11. Yeah.
Wow. And how many people do you employ currently?
Currently, because of the pandemic, I think we're down to 25.
Wow. Wow. You know, what a story you're telling me, man, in terms of resilience and growth and opportunities and a combination with hard work and it's funny.
It's hard work. It's hard work and you know the right people, Garold. It's not just Enock, but you know the right people, the persons that actually joined the company.
Yes.
The guys at the fire brigade at day one who who were behind me, helping out. When we used to do it, we used to just could be able to pay for each call, and these guys on their spare time, Glenroy Campbell is on the call as well, these people, they help to make it great, I mean, my wife, when the older ambulance couldn't go, she said, boy, stop spending money on that. You need to just try to find a way to get something new. And, it's just the people that, encourages you and, just help to make your journey a little easier.
Absolutely. Relationships. You remember we talked about initially that was one of the lessons that your dad taught you, and that's what's important. Your mom taught you about hard work and how that will help. Your Christian upbringing helps you to have that integrity and that trust that people want to work with you. Man, I was excited to hear your story because as a friend, to be honest, when my DTR Foundation do a number of events, and I have to take my hats off to Life Call, who's always providing ambulance service for free, for your contribution to DTR Foundation as well, man. Anytime I call, man, you're there, and that's a testament to the type of person that you are. And I'm honored to interview you. I'm honored to be your friend, and I'm honored to have a entrepreneur who has defied the odds, and really defy the status quo, and really have one of the most amazing company, the CEO of your own company, man. Hats off to you, keep going, keep inspiring. Your story, you keep telling it to people and keep being a beacon of light for your community and for your friends and for your family. Man, thank you all.
I mean, and
go ahead.
Growth, Garold, I must say, man, growth is always uncomfortable.
Yes.
You have to get uncomfortable in order to grow.
Yes.
I mean, I know when I started this company, I was still at the fire brigade.
Yes.
I knew I could leave, but I did not have the confidence, man. And as you say, relationship again, Yes. I remember leaving work one day and going to a workshop that was held by Yannick Page.
Yes.
And in that workshop, we were going through a lot of things. And, she actually asked me, then, I mean, if you have your business need you. Why don't you leave the fire brigade?
Yes.
And I left that day with the intention that, I need to have a date,
yes.
When I was going to leave. And I still didn't leave, but, that she planted that seed.
Yes.
And I was saying, all right, I need to make a date when I was going to leave, and that's what happened, man. That's what happened. I mean, I met people in my life that became mentors,
Yes.
and I met people in my life that cheer for me, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's
Yeah, it's being a CEO of your own life, man. That entrepreneurship, man. Having that side hustle and you keep at it, you keep working on it until that side hustle became your main hustle, man.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats to you. Congrats to Live Call Ambulance Service. If you, I know that when any of my friends or family needs ambulance service, I call in you, and you're there.
Yes, man.
You know, as always, you're there as always, man. You know, you know, as I said to you, I can't say it enough, man. I'm happy to have you as a friend, and I'm happy to have you on Ghetto Youth Conversation. And thank you for all the panelists, the panelists that me and you and all the attendees that signed on. We'll be looking at coming again with episode 4. Stay tuned. It's great. Any last words, Enock?
Well, as I say before, you know, in life,
yes,
you just need to find your purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, there's a plan for your life.
Yes.
You just need to find that purpose. You know, when you find that purpose, man, I mean, every day, it won't feel so much like a job.
Yes.
Because you'll just enjoy doing what you're doing, you know? And, you know, when you reach there,
yes,
when you find God's purpose for your life, you know,
yes,
you know, as I say, success for me is actually, you know, feeling satisfied,
yes,
with yourself,
yes,
in whatever you do,
yes,
you know. So you are the one who measure your success.
Absolutely.
If you're not satisfied with yourself and whatever you do, then you're not successful. You know,
man.
so it's just being satisfied with whatever you do.
I'm interested to see what's in store for you, man, as you continue to grow in what you do, man. Thank you, and thank you all again, man, for tuning in.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Thank you guys for tuning in.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Right,
appreciate it.
Nice.
Like and subscribe, and tune in next time to hear more of the Ghetto Youth Bible Conversations with Garold Hamilton.